Hello, everybody. I think there are people out there. I'm Jeff Hoffman, alias HMO Ditty, hence Dishin with Ditty. Sometimes I think it's AKA HMO Ditty, and sometimes I think it's AKA Jeff Hoffman. It depends on the day. How are you all? I'm so thrilled that you're joining us for the first show of Dishin with Ditty. This all came out of being in quarantine and really wanting to do something creative and to try something new and to push myself a little bit. And I thought, what better way than to invite some of my friends every couple of weeks and sit and chew the fat with them and discuss theater and art, and we'll have musicians, we'll have comedians. It just depends on the week. Actors, tech people, just to have some fun and to dish a little bit. So that's how this all came about. And I can't believe that I'm actually here and this is actually happening and actually people are watching. We have some amazing guests tonight. I'm so thrilled that on my first show I have two very dear friends. We did Jekyll and Hyde together over Theater 3. TracyLynn Connor, absolutely brilliant performer, as well as Jekyll and Hyde himself, Mr. Alan Stentiford. And you're in for a really special treat with the two of them. They have some wonderful stories to tell you, some interesting things. And then we're also, believe it or not, going to hear them sing. Actually, couple, 2-3 songs. So I'm really looking forward to this time that we spend together. This format, I've never done a talk show before. I talk a lot, but I've never done a talk show before. And there's a lot of tech stuff that I don't have a crew. My set is my living room. I'm going to do my best. I'm probably going to make some mistakes. But I'm not going to do it this time, like bring the wrong person up, and we'll have a good time. Sit back and relax and really enjoy the show. That makes me think of one more thing. This is on Facebook Live, and we get to see your comments that you're writing here. So many wonderful people here. I'm thrilled that we have so many people watching. We'll sometimes if there's a comment that that someone is writing, you may wind up seeing it online. So for instance, just we'll pick one. Ah, Mr. Kuhn, how are you? Hi, so glad you're watching. So glad you're watching. Okay. So basically, that's where we're at, and please feel free to ask some questions. And if you have some comments, please write them. And then if you want, at the end of this, if you know people that haven't gotten a chance to see this because they weren't available now or for whatever reason, this will be on Facebook Live, and you can watch it ad nauseum. So. First up is, I don't even have the words to express the talent that this young lady has. We've done a bunch of shows together. We'll talk about it. It brings me great pleasure to introduce Miss TracyLynn Connor. Hey!
Hey there!
You're there, and I can actually hear you and everything.
I'm right here, sitting in front of a nice fire. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you, and you pulled up the right person, so I'm really proud of you.
I did. Thank you. Thank you. So far, I'm batting 1,000.
You're 1 for 1.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this tonight.
I am thrilled beyond belief to be the first guest that you are bringing on the screen right now. It was an absolute honor.
Well, we've done 5 shows together already, and it just seems like yesterday that we did Bridges. So we met doing Bridges. We did Curtains, right? Addams Family, 9, and of course Jekyll and Hyde. And you played Lucy.
I did. I played Lucy this past September, October with the great Alan, the great Tammy. We had an amazing time.
Yeah. When we have Alan on later, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Well, you're such an accomplished performer and such a professional to work with on and off stage. tell us a little bit about your path, because I'm looking here and there's a whole bunch of people who know you, and it's awesome to see all the comments. Tell us a little bit, because I always find it interesting. Tell us a little bit about your path to get to what you're doing now.
Well, it started out in a little town called Shoreham. They had a community theater program back in the day for youth over the summer. And my friend Kristen and I decided we really wanted to be in this play. So my mom brought us, and my brother's only 16 months younger than me, so would tag along wherever I went. And so he, was sitting there looking at his baseball cards while I was all excited to audition. Well, there were no other boys there. Of course, that's how theater goes.
That's right.
And the director saw that there was a boy sitting in the lobby and thought he was going to go audition, got so excited, and then they found out he had no interest whatsoever. And then the begging started, and they finally convinced him to audition for the play. He got the lead alien, and I got in the ensemble.
Oh.
And I handled it. Okay, I was going to say I handled it brilliantly. I did not.
Mm-hmm.
There were tears, but my parents said, you still go, you do the best you can. You are going to be the best Crockett College cheerleader you can.
Yeah.
And it will be okay. So I went to the first rehearsal. I was in it. I was ready to go. And my brother was going to be the lead alien. And turns out the girl who wanted to play the sister alien decided there were too many lines. That was not going to be fun. So they came and asked me, they said it would be really cool if the brother and sister alien could actually be brother and sister. So my brother and I played Tego and Taga from the Planet 2.
How method?
It was typecasting, I'm going to say.
Sure.
My brother did a couple more shows, but in all honesty, he is the reason I got started. I'm really thankful. On opening night, I had the first line of the show.
Right.
It was opened, audience there. I saw them, and I couldn't remember my first line. And I sat there just going like this.
Right.
Like that was going to magically make words come out of my mouth. And my brother just walked over, whispered the words in my ear, walked back over, flopped over the fence, and I remembered my line, and we went. So we went off. My brother has saved me more than once. So thank you, brother.
That's great. That's great. And then you started doing theater regularly, and did you continue right on through high school?
I always did that summer program up until my senior year. It was still there. I did the shows at school, but then I started to get really interested in classical music and opera, and I went that route with my singing. Ended up going to school for opera, but the only role that I got was of a 12-year-old crippled boy. So I don't know if opera was my career. So when I came back to Long Island, I discovered this wonderful, wonderful Long Island community.
That's phenomenal. You sure they didn't offer the crippled boy to your brother first?
That hurts, Jeff Hoffman. that really stings right here.
Yeah. Well, you have certainly proven yourself. So tell me a little bit about the opera studies that you did.
Well, I went to the Crane School of Music, and I was a double major with performance and teaching. Yeah. And it was in my student teaching experience that I learned that I was not meant to be a public school teacher. I give public school teachers so much credit for the work that they do every day. Music teachers especially, the way that they have to have that discipline in the classroom. It just wasn't where my path was going to lead me. So I decided to teach privately and also be able to perform at the same time. And strangely enough, my cooperating teacher at the time in my student teaching was a man named Jeff Hoffman. And if I can't believe it. But Jeff, if you couldn't make me love teaching in the public schools, it was just not meant for me. That's not my strength.
But you are teaching every single day. I mean, you have a wonderful studio that you're preparing, younger students and older students alike. And I'm sure I know you love that. It's a passion.
It is. Sometimes there are days that I don't know what I love more, performing or teaching. I own my own business, teaching piano and voice lessons, and my youngest student is 5. My oldest is in their 60s. It's an absolute joy. And honestly, teaching remotely has changed things a bit, but it's also been exciting and getting me through this quarantine because I get to see everybody's faces. My students mean the world to me. So hi guys.
Yep. That's awesome. That is really terrific.
Thank you.
Out of the 5 shows that we've done together, I have to say that Bridges is my personal, and that's not to take away from any of the other 4 shows that we've done together. They've all been wonderful, but Bridges is really special to me. How about you? Which one of the 5?
Of every show I've ever done in my entire life, it's Bridges of Madison County.
Wow.
That show holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
The first time I was listening to the music, I was at my parents' house and doing something where I was blasting music, which I usually do. And it was Bridges. My mom came up the stairs and said, "What is this? It sounds like it was written for you."
Right.
And I said, this is like my spirit animal of music. It caught me from the beginning. Yeah. And then when Jeffrey Sanzel called me and said, "Will you play Francesca?" I literally jumped out of my chair when he asked me. I mean, there was no question. It was a dream come true. Right. And then to go and know that I was working with you and the cast that was there. I mean, it was all the stars aligned. It was a dream come true.
Well, I knew from the very first rehearsal that you and I had together, what was it, a couple of weeks even before regular rehearsals started, that it was a connection right from the very, very beginning, because we worked very, very similarly, and it was so wonderful to work actual music right from the get-go, you know. So that was the entire process was a joy, but that was the first time I ever had that opportunity to actually really dig deep into the music before we even get started.
Yeah, we both definitely did our homework on that one. We both came so excited and so ready to go. It was just you and I, that first rehearsal. And if we could have just kept singing for 7 hours, I think we would have, because we were just, and we delved in about when we're slowing down, what tempo do you want here? What dynamic level? Well, what if we did this? What if we did this? Because we were both so ready, we could do the nuanced areas of the performance from rehearsal 1.
Yeah. And how it connected directly to the character and to the action and everything going on. It was a joy. And you don't have that luxury all that often. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, we have a really special treat, because we were planning on doing this live. So I have my piano in front of me right here. You can't really see it, but in the future you will. And TracyLynn was going to sing "Always Better" from Bridges, but the delay in having me play and having her sing just didn't work. So what I did was I sent her the accompaniment. I asked her if she would mind recording it. So we're gonna, if I can figure out how to do this, and I think I can.
I have faith. I have faith. You can do this.
Yeah. By some miracle, we're going to. It's called technology, Jeff. We're going to hear TracyLynn singing "Always Better," and look at this. I'm almost there. And all I need to do is this. Okay, everybody, enjoy.
You could have driven into someone else's driveway. You could have tried to find the bridge another day. I could have gone off to the fair, locked the door, washed my hair, and say it might be better. We could have chosen to ignore what we would feel. We could have prayed to make the wanting go away. did is that we loved, and now is always better. I could have gone with you and left behind the cornfields. I could have seen a world like none I'd ever known. I could have tied my dreams to yours, slept beside you on the moors. I can say might be better. I could have known where my children turn for answers. I've never seen what they become, now that they're gone. But what I did is that I loved, and love is always better. It is hard, it is insane to place one love above another. But what a choice, and what a gift, and what a blessing. I could have never known a love like this existed. Then you kissed me, and then I knew. But what is true is that we met, and that I loved, and that I love, and I will it's always better.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Just you know, the comments that are coming. I don't know if you can see the comments from where you are, but
I'm not looking at the comments. I'm too nervous.
Oh, don't be. Absolutely beautiful. I think, you know, we had such a wonderful time, and part of the reason why we did was because of the rest of the people that were involved with that show. And just a quick shout out, because it's a small cast. So just quick shout out to Brian Gill, wonderful, Amy Woden-Hubin, Steve McCoy, Miss Your Blood, Dennis, who is watching tonight. Hi, Dennis. Ella Watts, Matt Raffinelli, who I saw his name as well. And
my son.
Yes, and Marissa Girgis. I think that's how she pronounces her last name, Girgis. A most amazing group of people. And thank you again, TracyLynn, for doing that.
It was an honor, and one of the genius parts of Jeffrey Sanzel, who directed the show, is the way he can get a cast just perfectly matched.
Mm-hmm.
It was perfectly cast. I couldn't picture anybody else playing those roles.
Yep.
And then you match that with you in the musical director's chair, dream team right there. And then Robert Henderson on the lighting, Randy Parsons on the set, and Shakira Doherty on the costumes. I mean, her color scheme, down to the last detail, the way sets were moved to the last chair. It was truly art. that we were making on that stage, and we were so proud. It was a team, and thank you. Special shout out to Jessica Contino, who dressed me backstage, which was no easy feat, and she was always just right there for me, whether I needed water, anything. Some people just don't get the credit. Jessica, couldn't have done it without you.
It was a really special once in a lifetime thing.
It really was.
Once in a lifetime thing. So we're going to move on, but we're going to see you again because we're going to bring it back when we talk some Jekyll and Hyde later, and we're going to have Alan come on out. We'll see you in a little bit.
Bye, everybody.
Hi.
Alan, how are you?
How are you?
Oh yeah, I'm well. I'm well. So happy to see your face, ladies and gentlemen.
Your face.
Always. This is Alan Stentiford. Alan is a brilliant actor, singer, who was our Jekyll and Hyde at Theater 3. We were so fortunate to have him. We met during,
guys.
We met during that show. You got amazing reviews, critically acclaimed. But I knew from the very first audition, when you sang at the audition, I was like, "That's it. This is it. This is our guy."
Thank you very much.
It's from here. So you know what? I know this is a very special show for you. Tell us a little bit about why.
Well, so my grandfather, who has since passed a few years before we did the show, he used to take me to see Broadway shows all the time, and I was 5 years old when he took me to see the original cast of Jekyll and Hyde with Robert Cuccioli and Linda Eder. And it's one of my earliest show memories. And so that was very special in that. And then, unfortunately, my mom battled ovarian cancer for 9 years. And she passed last April, 2 Aprils ago. Right before, a few months before we did the show in September. So I dedicated my performance to my mom. And I just know she was with me every night on that stage, guiding me, navigating me through the performance. I felt her spirit. And I just know she had a hand in me getting the role because I had wanted to do it for a really long time. And I know she was working hard on, on getting them to pushing them, So So I do think she had a hand in it, and the experience of losing my mom really informed me with the character and with the performance. For those who are not familiar with the show, Henry Jekyll is throughout the show trying to find a formula to save his father, who has some kind of condition like some kind of dementia or some kind of mental illness, and that's his mission throughout the show, is to save his father. So it was very close to home for me.
Yeah. That's well, and I was also happy that your mom was guiding you to us, because to do Jekyll and Hyde and not have a Jekyll or a Hyde is a little difficult. So my pleasure. I went, when we got to know each other, and you had told me something that I found absolutely phenomenal and exciting, and that is that you're coaching vocal and dramatics with Robert Cuccioli, who was the original Jekyll and Hyde. So, number one, that's amazing, and number two, how did that come about?
So, as I mentioned, I saw the show with him in it at 5 years old. All the prostitution went over my head. But I remember he was phenomenal. And I kind of forgot about the music from that show for a little bit. And then we did it in high school. And I played Sir Danvers because I played all the old man roles in high school, as things go. And I was reintroduced to that music, and I fell in love with it again. And I was like, wow, this is such a great show. And Wild Horn's music is so melodramatic and wonderful. And so then, I became a fan of him again, and I became friends with him on Facebook. And then when I graduated college, I sent him a message if he did any musical theater coaching, and that's how we got connected. And he is the most down-to-earth, genuine, wonderful guy. I mean, he's obviously super talented, but he's a super talented human being as well. He just has a big heart. And he's like my second dad. Like I really truly love him very much.
Yep. I've had the great fortune of seeing him in a couple of different things. And most recently up in Westchester, I saw him do Fun Home.
Yes.
And such a different role for him.
Oh yeah.
The man is just absolutely exquisite on the stage. I mean, he's
the best of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so wonderful that you get to work with him.
I'm very fortunate. Yeah.
That is terrific. So, he did come to see our performance. I think only a few people knew he was going to be there. I think it was
me, you, our director, Jeff Sanzel, Melissa Troxler, our stage manager, who was marvelous, and I think Doug Quattrock, who's an amazing person.
Yeah. But we'll talk more about that when.
That was special. That was really a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Sure. So what did he have to say afterwards? I'm curious. What was his impression of what he saw?
Oh, he loved it. He thought it was great. I know he was impressed with Tammy Dorsa, who was our beautiful Emma, and, with TracyLynn, obviously. And he, as I said before, he's just truly a really genuine person, and I could just tell that he really loved it. And he told me this meant a lot to me. He told me that it was only the first time I was going to get a crack at the role. So hearing that from him meant the world to me. So
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know you went to college for musical acting, or was it musical theater?
I went to school for drama.
For drama.
I was in a BFA program.
Right. And at Hofstra, right. And I think we have a mutual friend, a Miss Aluna Pierce, who I haven't seen in ages, but we've done tons of shows together in the past.
Yeah, Aluna's fantastic. She was my speech teacher throughout the BFA program, and coach and director. We worked on You're in Town together. She directed, and she was a dialect coach on Cloud 9.
Right.
She's wonderful.
That's so terrific.
Yeah, she's sweet and zany and awesome and talented. Yeah, she's really cool.
It's always so great.
That's so funny that you guys work together. Yeah,
I mean, for years. Then we did I Love My Wife, which was a revival of a show that we did 10 years prior, and the original cast came back together, but that girl could not be in the show, so Alona wound up playing my wife in the show, and we had an absolute ball because she's just an absolute joy. Along with Don Frame and Christine Miller Beltran, who I don't get to see all that much either, unfortunately. When you're young like you guys, you get a chance to do a lot of theater, and then when you get a little older like me, you wind up not doing as much for a while. Kids come and all that. But what a great person she is. What a great person. And then was that and then after, it was before Jekyll and Hyde, sometime you actually played Victor Frankenstein.
Not Frankenstein, Jeff.
I have to really think. It's really hard, so I don't say it that way.
I know. It's embedded in all our minds.
Yes.
I did Victor Frankenstein in Frankenstein off-Broadway. Pretty much right before Jekyll. So I guess I'm typecast as mad scientists, Victorian mad scientists. But that was really fun and crazy, wild experience. I was thrown in pretty much. The one guy was leaving. I think I had maybe 3, maybe 4 rehearsals, not even, probably 3. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had to learn the entire score. Eric Sirota, I don't know if you are familiar with him, but he wrote the score, the music.
That's
that was off Broadway on West 46th Street.
What a joy that must be.
At St. Luke's Theater.
Oh, how great. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it was close, as close to Mary Shelley's novel, which I appreciated.
Right.
I read the novel in high school and loved the book. So
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. We're going to bring back TracyLynn and have a little Jekyll and Hyde conversation. Okay, here we go. I can do this.
A little game of some sort, a dangerous game.
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay, on the count of 3, 2, 1. There she is.
You did it. I'm very proud of your technological advancing.
Don't say anything too quickly. Okay, so you both did Jekyll and Hyde prior to the Theater 3 one. And of course I'm not asking you to choose, which one was better. But how are they different between the ones that you did first and the ones that you and the Theater 3 production?
Alan, you want to take this first?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. All right, okay. So I know TracyLynn has the same situation, but I actually played different characters. I've done it twice before. In high school, I did Sir Danvers, and then regionally, after I graduated college, at the Broadway Theater of Pittman in South Jersey, I played John Utterson. So obviously, it was a different experience because of that, playing different roles and different directors. Jeff. I know we're probably going to get into talking about Jeff Sanzel, but he's just so marvelous because he's so hands-on and he's so specific. And me as an actor, I love that in a director. Actors want to be directed, and I can't get enough of that. So that was a very different experience. Having a director who's so hands-on like that was different. Not that my other directors weren't great as well, but he was. Very hands-on.
Yes.
And we work with different cast, different production crew, different music director, you who are phenomenal, so.
Thank you.
Ladies first. What am I thinking? I should have let you go first. Ladies first.
Yeah, but you're Jekyll. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. So this past production of Theater 3's, I played Lucy, but in 3 or 4 other productions before that, I played Emma. So this was definitely out of my comfort zone, but was really happy to come up to the challenge. And she's a challenge. She's a tough character. But what was the amazing thing is I got to then sing the other side of In His Eyes, and Tammy Dorsa sang the part of Emma beautifully. And every night I just had so much fun singing that song with her, and I was really thankful to share the stage with her.
Yeah.
Can I add something about her? She's phenomenal, and she, as well as TracyLynn, are both just phenomenal partners and so giving. And I'll just never forget when Tammy sang her beautiful rendition of "Once Upon a Dream." That's the song, right? And,
Once Upon a Dream, yeah.
And she held me crying because I, was pulling from things, and I was crying on stage, and she held me, and that was a moment I always looked forward to, and she was so comforting and so giving on that stage, and that's just something I'll never forget.
Oh yeah.
Once again, Jeffrey Sanzel and his casting. I mean, that cast was perfection. Down everybody, and every ensemble member was. I mean, they had different walks for what character they were playing. The vocals were amazing. Oh, hi, Alyssa. Love you. It was an absolute joy every night. There are certain shows that when you get to the end, you're like, okay, I'm good. We've done that enough. Jekyll and Hyde, I could do that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of Jekyll and Hyde, and music and duet, we have a very special duet from the two of you guys. And this is Dangerous Game. And if I can do this, I will be proud of myself. I can. Okay, here we go. This is Alan Stentiford and TracyLynn Connor with Dangerous Game.
I feel cold on my shoulder, your chilling touch as it runs down my spine. Watching your eyes as they invade my soul, forbidden pleasure. I'm afraid to make mine. At the touch of your hands, at the sound of your voice, at the moment your eyes meet mine, I am out of control, I am out of my mind, fighting feelings I can't define.
It's a sin with no name,
A hand in a flame,
and our senses proclaim it's a dangerous game. A darker dream that has no ending, and so you believe that it's true. A dance on death, out of mystery tale, frightened princess doesn't know what to do. You just run away, to risk it and stay. Either way, there's no way
my emotions are in a spin. I don't know who's to blame.
It's a crime and a shame, but it's true all the same. It's a dangerous game. No one sees, no one learns, but when
loud and blind, we don't believe. And the touch of your hand, and the sound of your voice, and the moment your eyes meet mine, I am losing my mind, I am losing control, fighting feelings I can't define. It's a sin with no name,
no remorse, no shame, I am furious. It's a dangerous game.
Hey, great job. Great job. What memories that brings back. Really, really terrific, guys. Such great memories.
I mean, as soon as you hear the music and you start doing it, Alan and I had such a connection on stage that
We had good chemistry.
we
Yeah.
really did. We really did. And
Yeah.
I was in my living room by myself. We have no furniture, by the way. We just moved in. Like, I literally have this fireplace. That's it. That's why I'm in front of it. But I could picture exactly where he was, what he was doing, where he was in my ear. It just all came back because we had such muscle memory down, and we just did. I mean, the connection that we had, even if something small changed, we were right there with each other.
Mhm.
And it seemed to happen from 3 hours away as well.
Didn't
Exactly.
your wig get caught in your bodice or something?
Opening night. Yeah, opening night. My wig totally got caught in your vest.
We fixed that moment. I think I ripped your hair out of it.
You definitely just yanked.
It was a miracle.
Yeah. Miracle of miracles. We had Lindsay DeFranco, who then just brushed out the wig and made it look like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
It was bad. I thought I was going to be attached to you for the rest of the show, which would have been a little interesting for the next
3 people.
What'd you say?
Can you imagine confrontation with 3 characters?
What's wrong with that?
Lucy, Jekyll, and Hyde.
And Lucy. Fine.
All right, guys. It is now time to play a little game. Okay? This game is called Tell Me a Story. Okay. Here
It makes me laugh every time.
Sometimes I have too much time on my hands. This is a bunch of images and a surprise images here and there. And whoever it represents, tell us what we're seeing. All right.
Okay.
So here's the first one. Okay. There you go. Let's who does this mean something to?
So clearly that's me as Snow White.
Perfect.
So for those who don't know me, I also dabble in special effects makeup. And I love Disney villains, and the evil queen, the witch from Snow White, was always my favorite since I was 2 years old. And that beautiful Snow White is my girlfriend, Noelle McClear, who is also a very talented actress and singer. And we dress up for Halloween for my nieces. And this was, I think this was Halloween 2017. And my dad finally let me be a witch for Halloween.
Here's another one.
So this is, I used to work at a Tim Burton themed restaurant in New York City on the Lower East Side. And this was when we had a Batman themed night, and I was Danny DeVito's Penguin. And that's Tiffany Masters, who is an unbelievable Catwoman and renowned Catwoman cosplayer. And I brought her in from Florida to join me that night at Beetle House.
That's awesome.
And this is also from Beetle House. This is me as Edward Scissorhands, which was my favorite character to play. Everybody just seems to really love and gravitate towards Edward. And I have a very special place in my heart for him. And this is also Noelle and I from Halloween this past year as from Batman Forever, for whoever remembers that Batman movie, Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones versions of Two-Face and the Riddler.
Right.
So TracyLynn and I first bonded. We really connected over our love for and passion for Phantom of the Opera, which is a show I've seen over 25 times. I don't even know the number. It's kind of ridiculous. But we both love the show so much, and we really connected over that. And we also collect Phantom of the Opera memorabilia. So this is the signed picture of Michael Crawford, the original Phantom. The mask on the bottom is from Vegas, signed by Michael Lackey.
Yeah. And I believe this is from...
That's from my collection. I didn't have like pictures of my whole collection because I am quarantined upstate. But these are 2 of my pieces that I have. And I also have, the autographs hanging on my wall. My entire bedroom in my apartment is Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, we believe you. 100%.
I know you do. It was the show that inspired me to sing. What?
TracyLynn, remember the picture you sent me of the button you used to wear every day to school?
Oh, I did every single day. There was a reason I got bullied. Every day I wore a Phantom of the Opera pin. Every day, without fail.
All right, here's our next one.
Oh, my heart. This is a production still from Bridges of Madison County. The reason why this picture is so special to me is that apron that you see actually was made in Spain. One of my mother's cousins, when she was there, when she was younger, I think she was 8 or 9, made this for my grandmother and made a dress for my mother also with this same material. So I had this on stage with me to think of my family in Spain. And also, you can't see here, but I was also wearing Ellen Mitchell Moore's shoes I always love to have things on stage with me from people that mean a lot to me and meant a lot to me. And this is one of those things.
And just tell us, for those who the few people that don't know, tell us who Ellen is, or what is.
Ellen was the musical director in Theater 3 for years and years and years. Wonderful, wonderful lady. She passed away a few years ago of cancer, but was a bright, smiling, shining force until the last day. A lot of us were just so close to her. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, my students who come to my studio in Port Jefferson, I don't know if you all know or not, you're playing on Ellen's piano and singing with me on Ellen's piano. And I'm very grateful to be teaching in that space. I'm blessed.
So amazing. Here's another.
Oh, this production, I mean, that lighting, Robert Henderson, you are a genius. Brian Gill and I had an amazing chemistry on stage. I'm so thankful for this production of Bridges of Madison County. I would go back to it in a second and do it for the rest of my life.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And who's co-star?
That is Sister Mary Amnesia with her friend Sister Mary Annette. Sister Mary Annette and I became very, very good friends, possibly too good of friends. I took her everywhere with me. I buckled her into my car. I took her to Starbucks. But yeah, when you're performing with a puppet on stage, you gotta get to know her.
Yep, without it. Hey, this is a gang. This is my gang. Go ahead.
Oh, Dream of Dreams. This is the cast of leads from the Addams Family. We had an amazing cast and ensemble. Again, Theater 3, I'm so proud to call that theater my home. The productions that are done there are hands down just perfect across the board. I loved playing Morticia here with my family.
Yeah, just a quick shout out to the folks that you see here. There's Matt Sinise, Jessica Murphy, Matt Peretti, who's not shown in this particular photograph. Rick Grossman, my friend for, I don't even want to say, Rick, how many years. I know Rick
I know he's watching. Hi, Uncle Fester. We love you.
Love you, Rick. Ginger Dalton, Max Venezia, who was Pugsley. Steve Isle, I saw Steve watching as well. How you doing, buddy? And the amazing Linda May and James Capicelli, who towers over everybody. But that's really nothing different for me. So yeah, an amazing group of people, absolutely. And there's our band as well. That's the principals and the band from Addams Family. What an amazing experience.
The other amazing thing about Theater 3 is that there's always a live orchestra led by some amazing musical directors, including the great H. Ditty. But to be able to perform with live music with this caliber of musicians every night, we are just blessed. Look at those guys.
Yep,
and girls.
They're fierce. Okay, you guys.
All right. So this is Jekyll and Hyde 14 years ago at Theater 3 with me as Emma and Steve McCoy as Jekyll. And then this past September, October with my Mr. Allen as Jekyll and me as Lucy. And I actually have this picture framed just to remind myself, whatever you put your mind to, if you work hard enough, you can do the things that people say you can't do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My girls. This is just to show a little bit of the camaraderie we had backstage. I mean, the entire ensemble, we just really got along, had a great time. But I have to say, the Red Rat Ladies, say that 10 times fast. We solved the problems of the world back there, and then went and sang about it. It was an amazing group of ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. I was so honored to be on stage back with Tammy Dorsa as Emma. This is above is Tammy. She plays a beautiful Cinderella, and I was the fairy godmother. And I love this picture of us, just the differences in, silly roles and then very serious. Yeah. She is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, so amazing. Go Go ahead.
Every production needs a Lindsay DeFranco. This woman is a goddess. She did all of my bruising makeup for Jekyll. Jeffrey Sanzel made the decision that he wanted Lucy to appear more bruised every time you saw her, like to see the physical beatings that Hyde was giving. And also Lindsay. So Lindsay is an amazing bruise genius. I mean, she was ready, just backstage, ready to, bruise me up.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And if a button fell off, she'd be the one sewing it back.
Yeah.
Back on. And
yep.
Every production needs a Lindsay.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to give a shout out to Shakira for our costumes. Jekyll and Hyde were so spectacular.
Yeah.
And Nicole Bianco, who choreographed it. Kiernan, who assistant choreographed it. And Nicole also helped me make my hair look beautiful. And then you and the band were phenomenal. Just everybody across the board. Jeff, Melissa. I'm sure we mentioned a lot of people. The cast. Yeah.
It's a love fest over here.
Everybody.
Yeah, exactly. All right, who's this?
So this is from my first trip to London. My mom and I actually went to go see Michael Crawford in a musical called The Go-Between.
Right.
And this is him and I at the stage door. And it was amazing to meet the angel of music himself.
And you were 8 years old.
I'm sorry?
And you were 8 years old.
Yes. I was.
You look like a baby.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Oh boy.
This is Audra McDonald. This is my idol. I've gotten to meet her a couple times. This time right here was really, really special to me. The first time I met her, I had planned it all out. I knew that I was going to just make these really great sentences about singing and just to have this great conversation with her. I got so nervous when I saw her for the first time. Right. I just went, I sing too. That was literally all I could say. And she just looked at me and said, that's nice. And that was it.
Great. That's great. Oh, there we go.
This was such a special night when Robert Cuccioli came. So this is Alan and I with him after the show. I could not believe I was standing next to this man. He was Jekyll. I can't count how many times I saw him as Jekyll on Broadway. And to have him to know then that he was watching our show and liked it and shook my hand. I'll never forget that moment. And now I can't make words again. I just got nervous.
Yeah. And Alan, I know that it was very special to have him there.
It was amazing. Yeah. He was texting me at intermission how much he loved it and enjoyed my performance. It was very special. It was really cool.
That's so great. And here's our beautiful, illustrious cast. And
I hate me in that picture, but everyone else looks amazing.
I mean, I just love, this is when we first found out that Robert Cuccioli was there. And I mean, you can tell on all our faces just how excited we were and amazed. And he was just so gracious. And I do just want to give a shout out to Jim Sluter's hat. I mean, it just makes the world go round.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our Tell Me a Story section. Thank you so much for those pictures, everybody. They were great. They were absolutely great. I think we're gonna go to our last musical selection for the evening. And let me see if I can get this. Yes, I can. It's coming to yes. So this is well, you know what? How about let's let Alan introduce this.
Okay. So this is a special song for TracyLynn and I for reasons which I'm sure everybody will know after what we discussed earlier tonight. This is All I Ask of You from Phantom of the Opera, and it was an honor to sing with this lovely woman.
I was just going to say the same thing. It was an honor to just be able to, even though you weren't here with me, up in Athens, New York, you were in my heart the whole time I was singing this.
Oh, well, thank
And Jeff Hoffman, to hear you in my ear that whole time.
Yeah.
Magic.
Here is all the rest of you.
No more talk of darkness, forget these wide-eyed fears. I'm here, nothing can harm you. My words will warm and calm you. Let me be your freedom. Let daylight dry your tears. I'm here with you, beside you, to guard you and to guide you.
Say love me every waking moment. Turn my head with talk of summertime. Share each day with me, each night, each morning. Promise me that all you say is true. That's all I ask of you.
Let me be your shelter. Let me be your light. You're safe. No one will find you. Your fears are far behind you.
All I want is freedom, a world with no more night, and you always beside me, to guard me and to guide me.
And say you'll share even one lifetime. Let me lead you from your solitude. Say you'll meet me with you here beside you. Anywhere you go, let me go too. Christine, that's all I ask of you.
I ask is every waking moment. Turn my head with talk of summertime.
Share each day, each night, each morning.
Say
You know I do. Love me, that's all I ask of you. Love me, that's all I ask of you.
So great. So great. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Hoffman, you are a genius for putting this together.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful to you for asking Alan and I to do this and to just sharing yourself with the world. You are a gift.
Thank you so much. You guys are a gift, and keeps on giving. We're gonna do plenty more shows together, I hope. And I can't thank you enough for being here tonight and for launching this crazy thing, this crazy idea that we had. And
You made it happen.
you guys are just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much once again. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. The show will take place not next Monday, but the Monday after, because we're going to do every other week. Otherwise, I don't think I'm going to be able to take it. But please take a look at Facebook, at the Facebook page, and on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll have our next guest posted very shortly. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. TracyLynn and Alan, thanks again.
Thank you, guys.
We'll
Thank
see you soon. We'll see you soon.
guys.